Welcome ladies and gentlemen. So in today's video I would like to discuss mesh shaders. You know, the next generation GPU technology that Xbox Series S, X and PC comes with. It's also one of the technologies that no developers have been using in their games so far, not until now, because Alan Wake 2 is really the first title to take advantage of that technology, and it looks like it brings quite a bit of performance boost in that game. So let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So you are looking at some of the gameplay from Alan Wake 2, which looks fantastic. That's what people that play that game say, that it's one of the best looking games out there. And really Remedy is known for delivering great looking games. Alan Wake, the first one was actually great looking game. Max Payne games were actually great looking games at the time when they released. Control is still one of the more impressive games, especially when it comes to use of ray tracing, and it's no different with this one. They are using a ton of different new technologies. They are using ray tracing, they are using path tracing too, but obviously you need a very powerful PC for that. There's no ray tracing in Alan Wake 2 on consoles, by the way. That has been already confirmed. Good news is that Alan Wake 2 offers two performance and quality modes on Xbox Series Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Xbox Series S comes only with a quality mode, which runs at 30 frames per second. Okay, so with that out of the way, I already wanted to focus on mesh shaders, right? For those of you that don't really know what mesh shaders are, it's actually one of the newest technologies. I mean, it's actually funny because I say it's a new technology, but it's actually not that new because I think the very first RTX GPUs actually brought that technology on board, but I mean, no developers have been using this technology so far because there wasn't enough of a hardware adoption to focus only on that technology, right? So that's actually sad to see because these cards are like 4 or 5 years old. I'm talking about like 20 series of RTX cards, and Alan Wake is really the first game to actually take advantage of it. You know what they say, better late than never, right? So let's talk about some numbers, right? And these numbers are from PC. I just wanted to make that clear because I don't want to see any comments. Oh, it's just PC numbers. It has nothing to do with consoles, which is not true. I mean, we know that Alan Wake 2 has mesh shaders implemented. I would imagine that the same is true for consoles, for Xbox Series consoles, right? I mean, I can't imagine this game running that well without use of mesh shaders on consoles, because I've seen some early benchmarks for Alan Wake 2 on consoles too, and it actually runs pretty well. Also, I wanted to address something real quick when it comes to PlayStation 5. Yes, PlayStation 5 don't support mesh shaders, but at the same time, PlayStation built some sort of other technology that is kind of very similar to mesh shaders, right? It's really difficult to say what's the difference. I mean, it's all about like primitive shaders and that kind of stuff, but you know, we've seen how well optimized PlayStation 5 console is, so that's why it's actually running games that well. So yes, I mean, I don't think that lack of support for mesh shaders on PlayStation 5 will have any meaningful difference in terms of performance, maybe a little bit, because PlayStation has their own way of handling, you know, GPU tasks. I guess they've got their own API. So without out of the way, let's focus on some PC numbers. And like I said, yes, these are PC numbers, but some of that will translate to Xbox performance too, because, you know, these are at the, you know, bare minimum very similar kind of technologies when it comes to like RDNA 2 GPU and some of these features. Like, I mean, mesh shaders implementation is pretty much the same on NVIDIA and AMD. It's using DirectX 12 Ultimate features, right? It's one of the DirectX 12 feature. So anyway, so these are the numbers. So this is from Hardware Unboxed. So I will leave a link in the description below so you can actually check the video, because there's some, you know, the commentary is very interesting. They actually go into more detail. And they are focusing on PC side of things, of course. So we've got like 3 GPUs here, 2 that don't support mesh shaders, and as you can imagine, that's Radeon RX 5700 XT, which is AMD GPU, and Titan X, it's a Pascal GPU. It's the top end 1000 GTX series card, right? So same series of cards, same technology that GTX 10, 60, 70, 80, and 80 Ti comes from, right? So Titan X is the top dog when it comes to that, and and also Pascal kind of show how much of a, I mean, because Titan X is a very powerful console, very capable console even to this day, but without support for the, you know, next generation features, it just goes to show how these features actually make a difference too. But anyway, let's focus on Radeon RX 5700 XT and RTX 2060 Super, because when it comes to these 2 GPUs, they are kind of the same when it comes to when they were released. They offer kind of same dated kind of technology. They are different, sure, because Radeon don't offer our ray tracing support, but these benchmarks were run without it, so it has no meaning to, you know, when it comes to this test. But RTX 2060 Super actually offers a mesh shader support, and you can actually see straight away that RTX 2060 Super actually runs better, Alan Wake 2 better. And it's actually also worth mentioning that in the video, if you watch it, you will hear something very interesting, which is that Radeon RX 5700 XT in general testing, when it comes to when they tested like these 2 GPUs like in the past over like 30 different titles, and the average performance of Radeon RX 5700 XT was around 10 to 13% better than RTX 2060 Super, right? So when it comes to games overall, without these next-gen features, AMD cards actually performs better, right? Especially now. So that's interesting. So now you've got one game that offers support for mesh shaders, and the slower card in general in these 30 games that, you know, they tested before. Now in this title with mesh shader support, that's the only difference between these 2 GPUs when it comes to this game and this testing, is the mesh shader support. So now with that mesh shader support, RTX 2060 Super is around 20 to 30% faster depending on the graphics preset, and also it also will depend on where in the game you are, because there's, for example, I've seen quite a lot of benchmarks, and you know, people say that when you are in the actual city, the performance is better, so it's less demanding, so mesh shaders are probably not going to be used as much, but because mesh shaders deal with geometry and geometry pipeline at least. And you know, these tests are from the forest area where you've got way more details, you know, a lot of trees, bushes, you know, grass, all kinds of stuff, right? And it's actually more demanding. So as you can see, in the most demanding kind of scenario in this game, the slower card, so overall RTX 2060 Super actually takes a lead by 20, 25, 30% depending on the load, right? So that goes to show how much of a difference a next generation feature, one feature, when used, actually you know, how much of a difference it makes, right? So I don't really want to praise, too much of a, glory of over that. And obviously that will depend on the title, on the implementation, on the game engine, etc., right? So I'm not saying that mesh shaders will offer 20-30% or even more performance boost in every single game, because it will vary depending on the implementation, GPU. Each engine is different. They are using their own game engine. So yeah, but it's still impressive. Like, I did not expect actually that much of a difference, really, because I was, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I've been saying that just one feature won't make a difference, because we're talking about probably like 10-15% difference here and there. But when it comes to all these different features combined, that can actually make a difference. But that's one feature that brings 20-30%. Even on one game, that's still pretty impressive. So I'm really looking forward to see that particular technology being used in other games. I really do hope that this is just the start. And also, just last word on the title, Pascal kind of technology. It just goes to show that, yeah, you may have that raw power, because Pascal, when it comes to compute, just raw compute, is still a powerful GPU. But without some of the optimizations and architectural changes, yeah, it's just like, basically dragging behind these actually low power, not that powerful kind of GPUs, really. Because in general, I would say that probably Titan X is even more, should be probably faster than both of them in most of the games, like older titles, I would imagine. But when it comes to the modern games, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Just like, old technology is not really that great. And that's why I don't really understand why there was so much of a backlash when Remedy did announce that, like, unfortunately, some of these older GPUs won't be supported. And it looks like you still can play the game on these older GPUs. It's just performance is going to be, well, pretty weak, right? And like I said, the last word on Xbox and use of mesh shaders. That doesn't necessarily mean that every single game will take advantage of mesh shaders. I don't think that every single game needs to use it, but I'm sure that developers will move towards that path. And it all depends on the game engine. Unreal Engine 5 is going to be a leading engine overall in the future anyway. More and more game developers are actually using it. Will it support mesh shaders? I don't know. I think they are using their own kind of technology. Whether they can kind of make use of mesh shaders to support that other technology, I don't know, right? I don't really fully understand all these like small differences here and there, but generally speaking, the more next-gen features will be used in games, the better it's for us. And I must say that I'm actually genuinely surprised how well Alan Wake 2 runs on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. It's very close to 60 frames per second. It's pretty much 60 for the most part, obviously at the lower resolution still, but still. And Xbox Series S even, and I'm actually going to make another video about Xbox Series S, because there was so much crying and outcry about Xbox Series S and stuff. And you know what? Remedy actually did a fantastic job optimizing this game for Xbox Series S too, right? It's actually a very stable game. Yeah, it's, well, a bit blurry. Yes, it is. It's just 4 teraflops machine, but still. Locked 60 frames per second, locked 30 frames per second, and it looks decent too. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.